What's happening, YouTube? My YouTube family. Well, I'm home. Why, you ask? Well, to not put my trainer's business out there for the whole world. Basically, I'm home because he decided that he didn't want to train anymore. The first week we were out, we did 2,400 miles. The second week we were out, they kept trying to send us to New York. He didn't want to go, well, all over the Northeast really, but the second week they tried to send us to New York. He didn't want to go. Then the air conditioning went out in the truck. You get cold air for an hour. Then you'd have to shut it off because it would freeze up. If you left it running, you'd end up with water in the cab. So he decided that we were just gonna go ahead and get that fixed. So we did. Then we got a load. Where the heck did we go after that? Arkansas. We got a load going to Arkansas. We went to Arkansas. We got a load out of Arkansas back to Pennsylvania. Then we went to Tennessee, and then we went to Illinois, Illinois, and then Iowa. We went to Chicago, and then Iowa, and we sat in Iowa 3 days, and we only got 1,400 miles. The second week I was with him. When I posted the video about us being broke down and in the hotel room for the night, I know that's when he pretty much decided he was done training. He didn't tell me that until we got to Indianapolis for my testing. Tested out. Tried really hard. Met with a bunch of different people to be considered a 2-week refresher rather than a student. But because I was a student, it was decided that I couldn't get out in 2 weeks, because if something happened, then their insurance company and the state and all this would be coming down on them. You know, but like I said before, I was doing 98% of the job. I was doing a good majority of the driving. My trainer basically said, you know, driving forward in pretty much any condition doesn't seem to be your problem. The only thing that you're really weak on, as far as I can tell, he said, is that it's your backing, which I agreed with him. My backing was not great, which we didn't get a whole lot of practice in on that. But I did get to test when I was in Indy for my 2-week review, and I tested great. But they decided that I had to have at least 4 weeks. They could let me go in 4 weeks, but not 2. So I got to have 2 more weeks of training. So they got me set up with another trainer. He's supposed to be there sometime this weekend, and basically we would head out Monday, because I got to get a new ID badge made, because every time you switch trainers or trucks or something, I'm not sure how it all works, but every time you do something like that, you have to get a new ID badge, because your ID badge is your comm data card. So gotta have a new one. No biggie, but still irritating nonetheless. So I'm sitting at home, but I'm actually seriously considering taking this, at least part of this week here, off coming up, because since I am home and my training's been pushed out, you know, now because I've been home, I was home Wednesdays when I went to test out. That's when my trainer officially made it official, which I already basically knew that's what he was going to do. But that's when he made it officially official that he was done training, because of the low miles and having issues with dispatch. So he decided he didn't want to train anymore. So, okay, whatever. That's cool. Still. Anyway. So now I'm waiting on a new trainer. I've got one lined up. I've got to make a decision here in the next few hours if I'm going to stay home next week to get some stuff done, because, like I was saying, now everything's been pushed out another almost week. So I've been home Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So practically another week before I could get to my own truck. You know, so there's things here I need to address pretty quick. So I gotta make that decision before the guys that need to know go home for the day. So yeah, that's where we're at. Kind of irritated about it, but you know, what can I do? He had his reasons. So the waiting game begins again. I've been looking into other options because there are parts of this job that I don't care for. And I mean, I know that's part of every job. And thanks to NRS Adventures, Nick, Sam, you guys have been extremely encouraging, because you've seen my Facebook posts about how stressful it's been being out with this trainer, and had great ideas and encouragement. A guy I go to church with, he's been a driver most all his life, and he had some very encouraging things to say. Basically his thing was, you go in there, tell them what's going on, and you want a new trainer. Well, I couldn't make it that far because my trainer decided to quit training before I had the opportunity. One of the things I don't care for about this job is the lack of cleanliness. I do not like to be dirty. And by that I mean, it's not a prissy thing. At the end of the day, I like to get cleaned up. And when you stop at a truck stop at night, you can do that. Most truck stops, especially the big chain ones, have showers. So you can go in, get yourself a shower, and get cleaned up. Yeah, it might cost you $10 a night to get cleaned up, but to me, it's worth it. And when you got a trainer that, I mean, I think the longest he made me go was 4 days without getting a real shower, and then complained because the truck smelled. I mean, we both went without showers for 4 days. You can't do that to two guys. I don't care that he was, 160 pounds or whatever. I don't care. You can't do that to two guys and not expect things to start stinking. So I don't care for that. I know that there's times when you can't get in to get a shower, but Celadon has plenty of terminals around that you can go to get showers. Honestly, to me, there's no excuse for not getting showers other than his decisions that kept us from getting them. So I really don't care for being dirty. And yeah, I know that I can take care of it, like I just said, but that's just one of the things I don't care for. It can be very costly out there on the road. And as a trainee, I'm going to tell you something straight. When you get on that trainer's truck, you better have set yourself aside a good amount of money, because in 2 weeks I spent on meals and food. Like I bought breakfast bars and granola bars and other snack stuff, but every time I had the opportunity to get a real meal and not eat garbage, because a lot of that stuff that I bought to keep on the truck to eat was garbage. I mean, protein bars, yeah, that's great and well and good, but it's not a real meal, and you can't survive on it forever. But overall, between buying food, eating out, and buying food on the truck, I spent over $200, probably $100 a week to eat. So you better be prepared for that. Celadon gives you $50 a day as a student. $50 a day is $350 a week before taxes. So my paycheck deposit for this week was $240 after taxes. Now you're saying, oh, $240 a week, that's decent, I can live on that. Not if you got a family at home that also has to live on it or needs some of it. That makes it a little more difficult to live on it. So just be warned. I've warned you, I've told you. It's not cheap getting started now. That said, as you've seen in my other video, one of my other videos, I've got the 12 volt, the Burton little oven thing, and I've got the crock pot, and I've got the toaster oven, all that 12 volt stuff to cook meals on the truck. And then I will save a lot of money doing that. But it is expensive to run out there on that road. The one thing I can say is I didn't pay for any showers out of pocket. We always use team showers, which basically you get 2 slips, one for each of you to go and take a shower. I didn't know how that worked, so I thought I'd pass that along. You know, the best thing that could happen to you, which is what happened to me for most, or at least some of the 2 weeks I was out, we ran hard. Not as hard as a seasoned veteran maybe, but 2,400 miles in my first week of driving, and I drove most of it. That's not doing bad to me. I know that most drivers average between 2,000 and 3,000 a week, so I feel pretty good that 2,400 miles in my very first week, a lot of which was done in New England, Northeast. So I did pay for laundry. That's something else I did pay for, and you need to plan for. The most I spent on doing laundry was, oh gosh, I gotta think about that, $5 between washing and drying. And that was one load. I jammed everything into one washer load and dried that same load. I was able to do laundry enough to only have one load to do. You know, if you're one that likes to separate all your clothes out and not do everything in one washer load, you're going to spend more money on that. $225, I think. Yeah, it was $225 was the most I spent on a washer full, and I think it was $225 for the dryer to run. So, but then the terminals have, some of the terminals have washers and dryers that you can use. You have to supply laundry soap. Make sure you buy some laundry soap. I recommend getting either the dry packs that look like dishwasher packs, or I got the liquid packs, the Purex liquid packs, because I'm allergic to a lot of soaps, and Purex doesn't bother me, so that's why the Purex. And dryer sheets. I had to buy dryer sheets, which I already knew that. I had that stuff with me when I went out. Be prepared. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make a laundry list of things that you really need to have out there on the road as the trainee. You can take a computer. I took my laptop. I have a 12 volt charger for my laptop. My laptop I have a bunch of movies that I put on that laptop, so I had movies to watch, because at night or when you're down on some downtime, you need something to do. My trainer liked to sit in the truck and stare out the windshield. Sometimes he would go in the back and lay down. Going in the back and laying down for you as a trainee means you are going to climb up in your bunk, the top bunk. I'm 6 foot tall, sitting upright on the top bunk, not happening. So you're either going to get on the top bunk and lay down, or you're going to sit up in one of the front 2 seats, which is what I did. And I would recommend collecting all the plastic grocery bags you can. I had probably 10 or 12 with me, and I used almost every single one of them up. Between dirty clothes and trash bags, I used just about every one of them. So I recommend collecting up those, because trainers don't like it when you just throw your dirty clothes wherever they fall. I mean, I think that goes without saying, but just food for thought.